Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Make Your Mind. This is another one of my Subnautica based, I guess you could call it a concept video. I was actually speaking with the mod team, and they wanted to come up with some sort of ideas. And I guess this is sort of my take on one of the ideas that they actually brought across. Now, as we know in Subnautica, one of the most important things you as a player can have are tools. This is my survival knife that I made. Of course, it has the heated blade on it. I gave it a little bit of a back curve and a little bit of a different handle. But this was my first sort of interpretation of the blade that I made. But I made another, I guess, a conceptual weapon. Or not really a weapon, but a tool of sorts that could be used in the game. And this tool would have a useful feature. I made two versions simply because one is specialized for one purpose, and the other one is multi-purpose. And that tool is this. You see this right here? You're probably wondering what this is. What this is actually a handheld spear gun that can be used by the player, and you see you got the little trigger down there. As you can see, it has the Altera look with the gray, the blue, and the white. And this spear right here has this little cylinder on the back with a little red dot. What this would be the tagging gun. So when you're swimming along in the water, let's say you're swimming along just like this, and you see a reaper, or you see a ghost leviathan, or you see a gargantuan leviathan juvenile, you could actually hold this in your hand and aim and fire a spear at that leviathan. And then what you can do is it will then have a beacon, which is what this is. This is basically a miniature modified beacon that would be used as basically a location tracker, that if you hit a leviathan with it, that it would be able to track the leviathan for a certain amount of time, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe even 30 minutes. And you'd be able to track exactly where that leviathan is, and you would be able to evade it. Because it would pop up on your screen like it was a beacon. And it would be moving around. That's one of the ideas that I had. Now, essentially, it's not like a typical pull-back spear with rubber bands or a spring mechanism. It actually uses a battery. In this case, I have a little ion battery in there. And this is the winding mechanism, and it has this little indicator right here that goes from red to green. So when you pull the trigger, you hold it down until that goes green, and then it then fires the spear with the beacon on it, which then attaches itself to whatever creature you fire at, and therefore you can track it. I just think that's a really cool idea. And I even went one step further with this. I made this. This is a multi-purpose spear gun. Or I guess a multi-purpose harpoon rifle. You could call it a harpoon rifle. Essentially what this would be designed by Altera. Of course, it would only be used in survival situations like you would on 4546B. And what this is that this would be a combination spear gun, not only to shoot for beacon spears, but also for food. I had thought about doing something like a fishing pole, but a fishing pole I don't think it would fit within the confines of the game, because the game, it's underwater survival. You're in the water. There's rarely any times where you're outside the water putting a hook in there. But I mean, that would be crazy, right? Let's say you throw a bait in the water and then all of a sudden you catch a ghost leviathan. I think that would be such a crazy concept. But I think a spear gun would be even better, because you would have to actually get close. And you're probably wondering what this is. This is a reel. This is a reel and a handle where, for example, if you were to hit, let's say you were swimming up to a shoal of hoopfish, and you shot into the shoal or the school of hoopfish, and you catch one or two or three, and they start to get away. Afterwards, you're player would pull the spear gun up and use it like a fishing pole, which is what when a spear gun fishermen that's what they use. They use a spear gun with a reel, with a line and reel that's attached to the spear, and that's to help them hold on to the fish, whatever they're aiming at, and also be able to reel it in closer without having to swim further down. Because a lot of times people, when they're spearfishing, they're free diving. They usually don't have a tank with oxygen, so they're usually just going down on one breath. But this was the sort of idea I had, so it'd be the same idea. So there's the safety button, so you click that to turn off the safety. You got your battery pack under here. And then you have, this is your indicator that goes from red to yellow to green, which tells you when it's ready to fire. Then you have the sort of Altera sort of decals over here. And then this is a flashlight attachment that would be a modification to the harpoon gun. And that would be so that if you're swimming down in a cave or you're swimming down somewhere dark, like in the deep Grand Reef or anything like that, that you'd be able to see and be able to spear very easily. And then another idea I had, since Altera loves to use screens, I had an idea for a targeting reticle. So you can see right here on the front, it has the red and then the green in the center. And when you're aiming with it, you're using this, and this thing is a targeting system to where it would say in the red where it is, and then when it goes green, that means that you're right on target. So this was the sort of conceptual idea that I had. I made this one first before I made this one, because this one, we were talking about a specialized way to be able to actually spear something like the gargantuan Leviathan. I mean, as if you couldn't miss it, but with the juveniles especially, now the adult is in the void, everybody knows where that is. But the juveniles, to know exactly where they are in the sand dunes, you'd be able to avoid them. But then again, this was just another concept idea. Tell me what you guys think. What do you guys think of the concept tagging gun and the harpoon gun? Or I guess it'd be the tagging gun and the harpoon rifle. Those were the sort of ideas that I had. And I'm always having ideas like this, like trying to come up with something cool that would actually work within the confines of the game. And for the time being, Subnautica is the game that I have just been hooked onto because it's just so cool. I mean, I live very close to the ocean, so I know a lot about fishing, and I know a lot about especially spear gun fishing. That is not easy, especially out here because we live fairly close to the Gulf Stream. The Gulf Stream's only about 35 miles offshore from where I live. And when you get down to about 500 feet, yeah, there's some crazy stuff down there. Also some good tasting stuff too. But with that, that's the end of the video. If you guys want to see some more of these conceptual ideas, go ahead and leave a like down below. And leave a comment, give me some feedback. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss the next video. I have so many of these ideas. And I would love to translate them into clay, and I would love to hear your guys' feedback to see what you think. Should this be a mod in the game? I mean, I don't know. I have contacts with a mod team that could turn these into reality if you wish. And I think it would just be the coolest idea ever to have something like this. But with that, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you on the next Subnautica-based sculpture concept showcase.